But you did write Mindful Masculinity. It is pretty amazing. And the interesting thing is like your background and why you wrote this book. So can you just kind of fill us in on all that before we get started?
Sure. You got 4 hours?
Oh, we got two.
Two's plenty. But I don't talk about my background because there's so much juicy stuff in the present moment. I will say that I had a major release in writing the book because I didn't realize it, but I held on to this belief that I'm not good enough as a man for throughout my adulthood and certainly teenhood, and in throughout relationships I would attract women who would support my original premise that there's something wrong with me as a man. I'm
Mm.
not I'm not traditionally masculine enough. I don't have enough drive. I don't have this. I don't have that. And I would collect evidence, and then I would attract women who confirmed my deepest, darkest fear eventually. So I
Yeah.
wrote it to purge my insides and really give myself the message that actually not only am I inadequate, not only am I not inadequate, but I have special gifts and talents to offer men. And so the book really turned me around.
Well, that's good.
It's kind of like getting, if you, to get it off your chest, you put it down on pen and paper to help others, but it also got rid of that doubt that you had on yourself. So
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I still have plenty of doubt.
not on this show.
Okay, so I
That-
have total certainty that
There
I
you go.
still have plenty of doubt. I have no doubt at all that I still have doubt on a daily basis,
Okay. This
and
is
that's part
Midget.
of life.
Well,
Midget.
to do what you do, to get up in front of so many people, to
Oh
have the
God.
wit that you have, I don't understand how you can have any doubt. Reading, you know, even though not men and women, you can definitely read this too because you can say, honey, you really need to read this, and pick and choose some of the things because yes, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum there. So I understand my version, what you're writing about, what women have done and seen and blah blah blah. So I get that, but I tend to kind of veer more on the masculine side
Mm,
myself. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So I get it. It's tough. It's really tough. And I mean, and men and women are so different. They, really truly are. We try to have conversations with our significant others, and it's like you say one thing, they hear something completely different. We just get like, what the? How did I didn't even say that? It's like, well, can you turn on the outside light? Well, I never turn on the outside light, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I didn't say never turn on the outside. Can you just please turn on the outside? If it's dark, turn on the light. That's it. That's simple. That's it. Doesn't have to
Yeah,
go
and
from.
I don't understand that because when the light is on, you attract all the bugs, and I don't like bugs. Hey, Jojo.
Hey, Jojo, I love you. But it's like, it's so true. It's like, I don't understand how what goes into the men's head that converts what we say into something that we would never even think, let alone say. And then it comes out here out of their mouths like something else, and it's just I don't even know. It's like I speak English for the most part.
Mm,
This is going to be a lot of fun.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. We never have a serious show, even for shows that we're not too keen on. We've always had a good time. So
Great.
this is a good
I love
show.
you.
Like the three of us are getting to know each other. We're at a coffee shop having our coffee, and we just have people eavesdropping. Right now, it's JoJo eavesdropping. So we love her.
Oh,
Yeah,
hello, Jojo.
yeah, and a few others. Now let's see. When you talk about working with your inner critic,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Mm-hmm.
explain that because I mean this is a both side thing. This is we have our side, you have your side. We always battle with our inner critics, but isn't that a good thing to do that?
To battle with your inner critic?
Well, you want to improve yourself, right? But there's always a thing, like what you were just saying. You have your doubts, right? Isn't that always something that's always in our minds? Mama's always saying, I'm my own worst critic with my videos and stuff. And I am. You know what I mean? So we're always battling back and forth. But
there are some words I'd like you to exclude from your vocabulary in our time together.
yes.
One of them is we. Speak for yourself. I'll speak for myself. There is no we. The inner critic is different for everyone. Some people have gone beyond it. Some people have made it a friend. Some people are, just not even expressing their gifts because they've allowed their inner critic to be their minister. They see it as the gospel. I'm a bad person, and there's no doubt about it. I'm sort of in between the two. I think I lean 60% towards I'm a great person and I'm given my gifts and everything's fine. But I still have this pesky little voice that thinks it's doing me service by pointing out my faults and shaming me and blaming me for not being perfect.
I understand that completely.
Yeah. So I have a whole lot of tools in the book for how to work with that voice.
You do. And again, I think it can be for both, for men and women.
Totally. Yeah. When you said I'm a coach for men, I was like, what? I have more women in my practice than men. I always have, and I always will.
Oh.
So I'm not a male specialist.
Okay. I read what they send me. That's how
Oh my God.
That's what
I have to talk to my publicist.
There we go.
Yes. Because I don't make that stuff up out of my head.
No,
I
you
make
don't.
Jordan things, but I'm not that smart. Oh. Okay, so moving on.
Before she gets the laser eyes again.
All right, so okay, I'm going to read this completely and totally. Okay, you describe the difference between an encouraging self-talk and a discouraging self-talk. Okay, I like how you point out that discouraging self-talk removes us from our courage, which comes from the inner critic, right? And that the opposite is equally true. I have a badass inner critic. So the question is for me, how can we get the critical voice to shut the hell up so we can become more encouraging to ourselves?
Oh yeah, please do tell.
Indeed. So Gina, you can't get the critical voice to shut the hell up. What you can do is massage and empathize with the fear that causes such a voice to freak out. So, in other words, you could say, you have a direct conversation with the inner critic. Are you worried that if I don't shape up, that I'm not going to get my dreams met in this lifetime? Are you trying to protect me and help me along by using the only tools you know how to use, which is shame, guilt, and fear? Do you want the best for me? Is that what you're wanting? And the inner critic does want the best. It's just using outdated methodology to support you. And so when you empathize with the inner critic and get to its loving intention, it kind of relaxes. And then you get to say, I would love your support. You can be on my team, but your tone of voice, it really shuts me down. It doesn't help. So I'll help you help me by teaching you how to talk to me, because I need my courage in this world. And when you talk to me in a discouraging way, I don't feel motivated. I don't get inspired. I don't do the things that you want me to do. But if you start to encourage me, if you start to point out the ways that I am doing my life purpose and getting things done, if you start to acknowledge and appreciate what I've done and who I am, that's going to lift me up, and that's going to lift me up into more courage.
Yeah. Victor in the chat room said, ooh, that's a great tip. Wrote it down. have a pen and a paper handy because some tells me you're going to be doing a lot of noting.
Yeah.
But you can also put into the chat. I'm not sure where you are, but put into the chat the Amazon.com where you can go purchase his book.
Yeah. And we also have, I have some, let's see, we have, we have coaching. Here is www.scottsongs.com and /life-coaching. And then to do a custom song, you can have them make a custom song for you, and that's www.scott.
They just need to go to my website. It's all there, scottsongs.com. But let them get it. Let's give them a taste of what I offer.
Yes, please.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, my God.
And the link for the website will be in the chat.
Yeah. It's easy. Yeah. So as our conversation unfolds, if I get some ideas for an improvisational song, we'll break out the guitar. It's right behind me.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he is also known as the spiritual Dr. Seuss. The rhymes that he has done, the videos that he has, I have a little clip that I made, but we have the man in person so he can do it by himself. But it's amazing. So we're going to do this in a little bit, though. So, I want to kind of stay on topic with the book for a little bit before we get into that, because that is going to definitely take off, because you're amazing with that. And I love it. And I have to say, Mama, okay, now you know that I love Mama D. You know I love to read my books. I love to have a book in hand. Okay. However, this book, the audio version, wow. Amazing. Totally amazing. Why? Okay. Why is it amazing? You wonder? Because it has music in it. It's got him.
Because the book won't sing to us.
His narrative goes to the clips of the music. It's so entertaining. It's so entertaining.
I want to tell you how that happened. I was in the studio recording the book, like 7 days in a row, and I just started to get the idea that why can't I put music in the book? Like, and the doubting Thomas said, well, that's just not the way you put out an Audible book. This is a book. You don't include music. And so as I'm walking home from the studio that day, I look at my phone, and for some reason I stumbled upon Barbara Streisand had just released her memoir, and it included like 4 hours of her music. Wow. And I thought, oh, if this is not a sign from the universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. But it was amazing. Like, I put it on, actually I was going to bed and I put it on and I was doing some stuff by hand and listening. And then I went to sleep listening to it. And I woke up a little bit later. It was still on playing. And I'm like, oh boy, and then I'm listening some more. And then it was like, so I didn't actually hear the entire book, but I'm telling you, because I read, but anyway, I have never enjoyed an audiobook until now.
Oh.
So, I love it. Well, you know how I work. I have to have both. I have to have the audio, and I get the PDF because it's too expensive to ship to Canada. Besides, Canada Post is on strike. But I'll get the PDF and I'll listen to it because in what was it, the Read Silly thing? I can't remember right now. Kindle. If you put a PDF into Kindle, you can do it as an audio. So I get to hear it as well as read it. For me, it works. I have to have both. Makes my brain work it out.
Nice.
Yeah. So now throughout your life, hi Richard, what did you do? Like, just go through like your jobs, what you had from like teenager up and through.
Sure. Well, my first job I was in New York City working at the Coney Island Aquarium. And then I was selling frozen lemonade on the streets. And I noticed that there were people on the streets of Wall Street and everything that were selling stuff by themselves without a company taking most of the profit. And I became intrigued. I didn't realize that they were occasionally busted by the police, because I just looked at them. They looked like they were just making so much money So I had a friend in high school who lived next door to a laundry bag factory owner. And he casually mentioned to my friend, you know, when I was your age, I used to sell these laundry bags on the streets and I made more money than I make now. So my friend Eric and I just were intrigued and we asked him, can you set us up with some laundry bags and tell us what to do? So he did. And I sold laundry bags on the streets of New York City for 7 years.
Nice.
You're gonna love the rest of this story, Mama.
I'm listening.
Oh, Mama, I
Just
sold laundry bags. So I was like at age 18 to 25. And during that time, I was writing music. I was experimenting with, this performer in me that had been locked inside a cage. And so people would pass by really quickly. They were on lunch or getting to work or whatever. And I would seek to entertain them while selling laundry bags. So my main line was nylon jumbo laundry bags, machine washable, water resistant. And I would say that over and over, but then I would start to add things that just came to me like, you've read the book, you've seen the movie, now buy the bag. Or and my favorite, the strongest laundry bag you can buy without a prescription.
oh, I like that. That's good. That's good.
You could do all the list of the
The man's is.
I even wrote a rap song like, I don't mean to boast, I don't mean to brag, but I got the world's best laundry bags. I got the small ones here, I got the jumbos too. I'm going to make your laundry bag dreams come true. Got the laundry bags, nylon laundry bags. Well, you may have riches, you may have rags, but everyone can use a nylon laundry bag. It's a bargain for you. It's a profit for me. If you buy a couple dozen, I'll give you one for free. We got the laundry bags. Nylon laundry. Rap was just coming onto the scene.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the
I loved it.
But you have to tell her the police story.
So the shadow side of the job was that it was illegal or slightly illegal. The way I saw it, I wasn't hurting anybody. And that it was a silly law. So occasionally the police would come, actually not just occasionally, every day they would come, and I usually would see them and run. But
I thought
Go
for
ahead.
some reason I thought that the police only came to harass those people, not harass, but do their job, but harass those people that were selling like name knockoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, no,
Don't have
because
a permit.
in New York, you need a license to sell on the sidewalks. It was like $2,000, way out of my league.
Chris
So,
did the same thing. Yeah.
Okay.
oh,
My old partner, yeah, he used to sell knockoff bags and stuff.
oh my goodness.
And have to run too. But he did not have the story that you do.
All right, so the police would come and they would take my bags and write me a ticket. Usually they weren't all that concerned with asking for ID, and they were sort of amused by the whole thing. They didn't want to get us off the streets because they were the peddler squad. They didn't have to deal with significant crime. So they often would just say, so what's your name today? And I would say something like Sal Paradise. What's your address? 14 City, so they would write a ticket in a fictional name and a fictional address. And we had an understanding that this was silly. And I didn't treat them with disrespect. I asked them how their families were. And, we got along. But every once in a while, they would take my bags and write me a ticket that cost me money. So one day I got this absurd idea. And I wrote a note that said, to whom it may publicly concern, this note is written permission for my son to sell laundry bags on the streets of New York City without a license. I know it is against the law, but my son is, in general, a really good boy. So this note absolves him from the law. Ignorance is no excuse, but a mom's written permission sure is. Hugs and kisses, Mom.
Yes.
And I put the note in my pocket, and I almost couldn't wait to see the reaction of the police.
Okay.
And so the next day they come up and they're about to take my bags, and I say, hold it. I've got a note. I take out the note, and one of the officers reads it out loud to his partner, and they don't break into a smile. There's no sign that they took the joke. And I was really nervous, like, oh my God. And he hands me back the note and he says, "This one's on Mom. Take a walk." The
Oh,
next day,
nice.
yeah, I was absolved. The next day, this police car comes with the sirens blasting, which usually means they're not after the petty
Mhm.
criminals, like they're after something significant.
Yeah.
So I didn't stop selling the bags. I didn't run away. What I did do was, pay it no mind. But they came right to the corner where I was selling, and the two officers got out of the car and they come running up to my face. And the sirens are going and
Mhm.
the lights, and I'm freaking out. What the hell? And they both say in unison, "We want the note." They said, one of them said, we told everybody in the precinct about it and they didn't believe us.
Right.
So I gave them the note. They left me alone. And later on, they told me they laminated it and put it on the bulletin board of the 84th
Oh,
precinct, Brooklyn Heights. And I became like a legend. In fact, when I left New York to move to California, I left with the vow, the declaration, the commitment that I would never do something I didn't love for money ever again. So I went and I, put my all into music and healing work. And 6 months later, I went to visit my parents, and I I was out of nostalgia. I went back to the main area where I used to sell laundry bags. And I went into the kosher pizzeria where I used to hide my bags. They used to let me go down to the basement and hide from the police and, and store my bags.
mhm.
It was like a great relationship. And I would eat kosher pizza for lunch.
Mm.
So
And
anyway,
when
I walked in there and they said, "Oh my God, where have you been?" And I said, "I moved to California." And they said, "You wouldn't believe it, but take a look at the newspaper. They have like a local newspaper. It's
yeah.
the Brooklyn Heights Gazette. And on the back of it, they showed me that week there was a caricature, a comic strip of me hawking my bags. And it said, 'Whatever happened to the laundry bag man?'"
Oh, nice.
Awesome. I mean,
That's
what kind
freaking awesome. You never know how much you affect people. So yeah, that made a major effect. I like the idea that the cops came with
Yep.
sirens blaring to get your note, mom's note. Did you
That
ever
was
tell your
it.
mom?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I asked her permission. I said, I forged a note. I read it to her. And I said, "Is it okay with you that I'm pretending that you wrote this note?" She said, "Oh, yeah, come on.
Oh,
No
I've
nice.
worries."
pushed notes
Very
from
nice.
my mother many a time, but I never asked her
Never
permission.
asked her permission, did you?
I always said I can sign my mom's name better than she can.
Oh gosh.
I'll tell you a funny story. There's so many funny stories, but one of them was during that first visit back to New York. Somebody organized a house concert for me, and as I was giving the concert, there was somebody who was looking at me really painfully
Mhm.
strange all night. And at the end of the concert, she comes up to me like she's in a trance, shaking my hand. She goes, "I know you from somewhere." And I intuitively knew exactly. And I said to her, "Nylon jumbo laundry bags, machine washable, water resistant." And she goes, "Oh
Oh
my God,
my god, that's so
you are
cute.
the laundry bag man. I used to walk around feeling sorry for you when I passed you by. What happened? How did you get to be a musician?"
Oh my God.
That's
And
adorable.
it was obvious that she didn't have room in her belief system for somebody changing their life
Yeah.
Yeah.
radically for the
Yep.
better. So I walked her to her car. I told her my story. And again, she just was in shock. It was fun.
Oh,
Nice. Like I
that's
said,
always awesome.
it's
It really,
amazing. We never realize how much we touch people. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's
you know,
awesome.
I had a job when I was a teenager working at a fruit stand, right, for a family.
Oh,
have family down the street. I mean, very family. Okay. And, we worked hard. I really did. I learned all my work ethic, how to be my own boss, which I was after that, my whole life. You know what I mean? How to run your own business, how to do everything. But it was packed all the time. We took one vacation. We're down in Florida. We're on a beach, and someone comes up to me and says, "You're a fruit stand person." I'm like,
Oh my
"Wow."
God.
I'm like, "Yes, I am." And they're like, "I come and get a pound of peppers every Sunday morning." I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's
okay.
cute.
It's
Oh
a small world after all.
it really is. I can't get away from you guys. I'm on vacation.
Well, at least you didn't have people. I used to work at a convenience store gas station, and I would have people when I'm grocery shopping going, "How much is the price of gas? Do I look like I'm working today? I don't know. Go to the gas station." So people would be like, "I know you." Even today, until today, I haven't worked there for 5, 6 years, and I'll see people in the grocery store and I go, "I know you. Where do I know you from?" And I'll have to bring up the name of the store and everything else. And be, "Oh my God, yes. Where have you been?" It's like, I've been around, just hiding
Right.
out.
Right? Oh
But
my
yeah,
yeah. So anyway, how did all of
Anyway,
this get back to doing something like this? I mean, like,
yeah. How did that happen?
how did this happen? So you're on one road and
I was on several roads. I was
eh,
driving wildly on all major roads. I was a stand-up comedian. I opened up for Robin Williams, Dana Carvey. I, uh, I was a life coach where I needed to be serious and help people trust me. So I had that side. I still have that side. And then there's the spiritual Dr. Seuss, which happened when I was reading Dr. Seuss to my daughter, a bedtime story. She was 2 years old, and I couldn't get the rhyming out of my head. It just was going on and on. I couldn't sleep, so I went to my computer and I started to uh, to write, and I realized this is a different Dr. Seuss. It has the
yeah.
same cadence, the same rhythm, but it's actually for adults, and it actually has a message. So
okay.
and
So
so over the
we have
course,
to go there from here.
you want to go there?
Yeah, I want to go
All
there.
right. So
We gotta watch
one of
these videos.
one of the poems, their poems performances, was really looking at our relationship to the work ethic that everyone seems to have,
Hmm.
how we think our worth is related to or based on our accomplishments and staying busy and moving in what I perceive as a rat race, like a rat
Mm.
looking for the cheese. And, um, it usually manifests in struggle. There's a way of working hard where you're not necessarily in struggle, you're in flow. And you're in flow because you're having a good time.
Yeah.
You're working with the forces of the universe. So this poem just takes us back to where it all began, the Garden of Eden, and just playfully points out where we've gone wrong around all that. So here it is. And I'm not going to do the whole poem. It's a 7-minute poem. I'll
Right.
just do,
No, yeah,
yeah,
go.
I'll just do the beginning.
Yeah.
So get in your pajamas. Let's gather and snuggle. And I'll tell you a story, the story of struggle. It begins at a time before struggle began, in a garden called Eden, where all things were grand. The people who tended the garden had fun. They prospered and played and got lots of things done. One day, two plain folks, call them Adam and Eve, went under the covers with shame and some leaves. And then came the blame game, the who cut the cheese? Was it Eve or a snake or the wrong choice of trees? The day-to-day play, all the joy they were given, gave way to the sense we must work for a living. And God did reply, kids, you gotta be kidding. Everything you could want is right here, not forbidden. But they would not, they could not receive the good news. They thought that to play they must first pay their dues. By the sweat of thy brow we must now earn our bread. And they didn't know the gluten had gone to their heads. Then they passed this confusion right on to their kids, hiding their loins with more leaves from more figs, teaching their offspring original sin, who then passed it off to their nextest of kin. And they made their cause noble. They justified pain. To suffer's God's will. No pain means no gain. And if you have suffered through life unabated, when you croak, your rewards card will be activated. That's when you cash in all your hard sacrifices and rest up in heaven with the rest of the righteous. And so, human beings, we assume the position of forgetting God's love didn't come with conditions. We dreamed up a God with a list of demands, with rules and with judgments and a whip in his hands. And over the seas came the pure Puritans to spread the work ethic all over the land. The pleasures of life must not ever be trusted. If you dare enjoy sex, you're eternally busted. God sits on a cloud with his one only son, and they both wear a frown if you have too much fun. But if you can grab a bull by its horns, well, then God is pleased and might send less shit storms. And then on your tombstone, your tribute might say, she worked hard for the money and toiled each day. He played by the rules, never did make a scene. And here lies his body along with his dreams.
And if you want to see the rest of this, go to the YouTube channel.
The link is in.
It's
The link for his YouTube is in the chat.
Yeah. And there's different playlists, and I think it's the third one down.
yeah, hilarious, amazing.
I love it. I love it.
And I do like how you pointed out too that let's give up struggle for Lent.
Oh yeah, that's towards the end.
Yeah. So
And so to wrap up now, and this is the end. And so to wrap up now, because I'm feeling spent, let's sacrifice struggle this Easter for Lent.
There.
We'll just do it now. Why procrastinate when the garden of ease is our natural state? It's been waiting. Okay. Yeah, I was going to do the end because,
go ahead.
Tie it up in a ribbon, So why procrastinate when the garden of ease is your natural state? It's been waiting with patience, and it's well worth the wait. The garden of ease is our natural state. It's everyone's birthright and everyone's fate. The garden of ease is our natural state.
I like it.
He blew that one right out of the water. But I love it.
Can't get any better than
the points.
There's a lot of happy faces going on the Facebook page, just to let you know.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love how you came up with that. You could just sit and watch for endless time. One after the other after the other. It's very, very entertaining. I would love to see. Are you still doing going and doing like a stand-up bit and stuff like that? So I would kill to see you go a stand-up.
Oh, sweetheart. No, I don't want you to kill. I don't recommend killing. But I lost a lot of gigs. COVID and then I moved to Mexico, and I did like one comedy gig since I moved here. So, Things
Well,
come and go.
nice though, isn't it? I mean, it's a good place to live. It's a lot. It's like I moved from Massachusetts to Pennsylvania, and it's a lot easier living. So I can imagine moving from California to Mexico was a lot easier living.
Well, my cost of living has been cut in half.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But
To go from Massachusetts to here. I mean, oof, big difference.
Wow.
In Texachusetts, I should say. But yeah.
Oh, Taxachusetts.
I don't know if you recognize my accent yet. I tried to have R's during the shows, but I usually don't have any in my vocabulary.
One of the questions I didn't get a chance to read. I did get the PDF file, but I didn't get a chance to read it because me and my job is like. Excuse me, hush. Pet friendly show, but that's ridiculous.
Tell your dog this is a podcast, not a dog cast.
Did you hear that?
Go.
Unless you want to bark your opinions in the chat room.
Right?
Yeah.
No, because then she would try and type. With my luck, she'd try anyway. You in your note, the book. One of the questions is: I noticed in your book you hardly use the words toxic masculinity. Since that phrase cannot be avoided in today's conversations about masculinity, why did you choose to avoid it? And what's your take on it?
Oh, part of the purpose of the book is to reconnect men to non-toxic masculinity. And I don't like the word masculinity associated with anything toxic because there's been, ever since the 60s, there's been this movement of men who've been ashamed of their masculinity and who've gone to the other extreme. And there's a lot to be ashamed about. I mean, the patriarchy has really screwed the world up through dominating and, being more interested in acquiring possessions than taking care of the earth. So men need to learn to develop their feminine side. But some men, including myself at a certain time, just threw the baby out with the bathwater. So, we need both sides of the brain, left side, right side, yin, yang, which is, the yang is the masculine energy and the yin is the receptive, the feminine. And I don't see how we could exist on this planet without both.
Yeah, no.
And not just both on the planet, but both inside of ourselves.
Exactly.
We have reached a stage in our evolution where, women are forced in some cases, to get a job. It's just things have changed. You can't go through life just resting in your feminine side. And men are not going to be happy campers if they're just manly men. They are going to lose it in their relationships. Women want the protection that masculinity provides, but they also want emotional availability. They want it all, and they deserve to have it all. And men need to, you betcha. And men need to step up to the plate and develop it all. And I like this. This is a paradox because I say to men who have resistance, who think that it's emasculating to become vulnerable, to become emotionally available. I say, look, masculinity is strengthened by expressing courage and moving into new territory, pioneering. Men love to, let's go to the moon, let's go to Mars, let's do what, Star Trek. We'll go where we've never gone before. Well, many men have never gone before into their vulnerable side.
Or to the
I got to watch out for you.
Yeah, you do.
You have a nasty habit of completing my sentences.
Why were you going to say
all right.
that? Were you going to say that?
In the name of humor, you can do anything. I give you a lot of leeway.
Thank you very much.
But what I was going to say is that it takes a lot of courage for a man to be vulnerable and to explore their feelings and to listen to a woman's feelings without trying to fix and
Thank
solve
you.
the problem. That's huge. It takes so much growth on the part of a man. And that's masculinity,
Yeah,
is
right.
being willing to go where no man has gone before. So it's a paradox.
Yeah.
So how do you have this conversation while coaching to get this through some thick skulls?
I don't have to. I don't have to, because first of all, the book says it all. And if somebody comes to me after reading the book, they
And what
are
they're in for.
convinced, they're enrolled that they need to work on this. So I don't get these, I'm going to see what this is about because I don't trust you and I don't trust me and I don't trust feminine side bullshit. I'm nobody pays good money to
Mhm.
fight me. They're already enrolled.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
They already have an
Right.
idea of what they're in for, what they're about to open themselves up
Although
to.
there have been women who have
Say,
said
I would say
they've,
that there's going to be a line there, right? Because it's like, all right, I'm going to say that I have these many flaws, but not these many flaws.
oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. It takes a lot of trust, building trust, to get to the deeper levels of denial.
Hmm.
And
True.
so cultivating a trusting friendship relationship with somebody, so important, and letting them know that I'm going to love and appreciate them whether or not they go there. Like, it's not a man. A lot of men come to me because their woman says, read this book or I'm going to break up with you. Like, this is the last
Yeah.
straw.
Okay. Yeah.
So they already got the motivation.
Well, that's true because in women, if you read the book too, I think I said this. I don't know if we talked about this earlier or if I said this on air. I'm not sure. But like, you can read a section here, and there is this section back here. What we were talking. There's what women look for in men in here. Right? The
Yeah.
righteous man. All these things. Like, you can basically open this to any page, read this as the woman in the relationship, and say, okay, honey, can I read this to you, or would you,
Like,
I
read
don't
it yourself.
take this into your reading room and read this?
Yeah, but it would really help our relationship if we read it together. Let's read a chapter before we're going to sleep tonight and we can discuss it.
There.
It'll bring us close together. You'll have more sex if you're open to this idea.
There you go. There you go. And there it is.
Sharon said she'd say, read the book or else.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people do.
Some
know.
people come to it with that. I don't recommend that, but yeah.
But they do. But yeah,
Ultimate.
the sex thing. I mean, I don't understand again, because we're women, we don't have that sex drive like a man has. That,
Oh, you think?
I mean, we have a healthy sex drive. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Yeah,
But
that's true.
men have a heightened sense of needing it because for many men it's the only time in their life where they're out of their heads and into their bodies.
Oh, so that's what shuts
Okay.
that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's a
the
doorway to intimacy. It's a doorway to release tension. It's when I leave my body, I'm going to have a talk with God about this because it's it's the source of a lot of tension in that women need to relax before they can open up their bodies, and men very often get to relaxation through the sexual act.
Mhm.
Like, oh God, I need to release this tension.
right.
And women need to release the tension before they even feel their sex drive. Most women.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Again, it's like so.
Yeah, I've got a bone to pick with God
I
around that.
know. What is up with
I want to
that?
be a fly on the cloud.
A fly on the cloud.
Or a butterfly on the cloud.
Let's do it. Let's do something with that.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
here we go. All right.
I want to be a fly sitting on a cloud. so I can see Scott and God shooting it about. I want to hear what God might have to say, why men and women were born this way. For me, it just makes me want to say, oy vey. I'd like to be a fly on the cloud, to learn what this whole plan has been about. 'Cause my mind cannot figure it all out. Sometimes I want to shake my fist and shout, why did you make men and women with such differences? Why does it take so much therapy to do it? I want to know what the plan is. I don't understand it, but somehow I'll see it through. Okay, that's enough of that.
That was nice. I like that one.
Wow, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So I got my crazy background going on here. All right, Mama, put us back to normal.
Yes, mother.
This one.
Oh,
Here we go.
normal.
Switch.
Here we
Switch. There we go.
Normal is just a setting on a washing machine.
It is.
And I
There is
never
no
used that
normal.
setting.
You guys are not normal. This is not a normal
no.
thing.
Good Lord, no.
You're so abnormal.
Thank you.
Well, that's
I
Yeah.
admit it. I admit it.
that's another 2-hour show. Well, what's the fun in being normal?
I know.
There's different degrees of normality.
If you want normal, you're already feeding the pharmaceutical industry with antidepressant sales.
Oh boy,
It's true. But I don't want to be normal. I want to be special.
You want to be what?
Special.
Special. You
Special.
say that with an accent.
Mm-hmm. Even though I don't have one, that's for some reason when I say it like that, it's an accent.
You have an
Oh.
accent.
Yeah, I have a Canadian accent, but I don't hear it.
You do have an accent. You say certain words with a different accent. It's funny. It's good. I love it. Wouldn't change it. You know, being a masshole the way that I am, everything comes out harsh. It's like I'm a heart of gold, but it sounds like I'm harsh.
She's a softie.
She's a softie.
Yes.
Gina is a softie.
Mm-hmm.
Behind her outer shell, she may come across as a Massachusetts girl, but deep down she knows she is swell. Just get her in private and she will cry for you. All that empathy and gratitude. She comes across very skilled, very, very clever. But then there is this softer her. It's now or never. It's safe to be soft in a world that's gone hard. Softy is the true self. Softy was given you by God.
Oh wow!
I like that one. Very nice. Very
Oh
nice.
my God! Just
That's
like
good.
just like this. This
You made
just
her cry.
hops into your head. I know, right? Oh my God!
I think that's like the
amazing.
second show in a row kind of thing that we brought you to tears. Rubbing
Oh,
off on you.
Aw,
Bringing out the softer
really
side.
sweet. Really, really sweet. You are.
Yeah,
like,
and then you get her mad and then she cusses like a sailor.
ooh.
A truck driving sailor.
Let's bring that out.
No, oh yeah, because then I get to build a castle.
No, you wrote a book on Trump.
Let's not go there.
No, not Trump. Not Trump. The how to deal with stuff. That tell you, nothing will get me more riled than that.
Mm.
You know,
It's
That's why
actually
I-
it's actually a very soothing book.
yeah. That's why I need that. because-
It lightens the load.
Yeah.
Retail therapy shopping?
Yeah. Let me read you what I wrote on the back of the
No.
book. It says, oh no, this is the wrong book. Well, let's see. Maybe I memorized it. Donald Trump is not a problem to be solved. He's an in-your-face wake-up call, a calling to evolve. As this book assists you to do your inner work, Donald may still be acting like an insensitive jerk, but he won't continue to jerk your chain because you will have discovered how to remain in your peaceful, playful, powerful center where love and joy and immigrants can enter.
I like that. I like that. That was on the cover.
I think it's on the back. It's on the back.
Hmm.
I really want to get that book. Like I really,
Yeah, as I said, retail therapy.
yeah.
I
Yes.
swear, working on this show, it's going to make me a poor woman for all the books, and I don't have nearly as enough books as Gina.
Well, if you're a Kindle person, that book ain't gonna break the bank at all.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Kindle, and she does. She likes the audiobooks. Did you do that audiobook the way that you did the other ones? Like,
No. I think if there is an audiobook of that, I had nothing to, it was published by a publisher, not by me. And I think I may have to go and do it because of Trump being president again.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure.
No, I would, because you know what? Your voice, like I said, I don't gravitate to an audiobook because as you can see, I love reading. I have many books and I've read every freaking one of those. Okay. And I have right here, I have a whole bunch more to read. I do love reading. I love
Nice.
book in hand. I like the way pages feel. You know, some pages don't feel as good as others and stuff. But your audiobook, I'm going to say it again, by far the best.
Oh,
The best because of
Yeah,
all
because this is the first time I've ever heard Gina
I know.
be happy about an audiobook. Oh,
Yeah, because I don't. If you did the other ones in audio, the way you did that one,
never knew.
gold mine. You got a gold mine right there.
You know what? I think that the publishing company put them on AI. In other words, it's a
Who?
it's a
Yeah, so
computer.
it has the weird voices.
The audiobooks are there, but they're like computerized.
Yeah, and I don't like it. I don't like the inflections are wrong.
How to evolve during the Trump experience, whether the man enjoys you or not. By Scott Grace. Scott Grace wants to thank blah 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 blah. It's really ridiculous because
Yeah,
it's an emotional journey, and to hear an AI voice.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Kindle does. It's an AI voice, but at
Yeah,
least you can I
exactly.
can adjust it. But I don't know. If
Oh yeah, you can have like Jack Nicholson reading it.
Oh my God, that'd be funny.
Meryl Streep would be better.
Very true. Very true.
I love Meryl Streep. Oh my
Me
God.
too.
But the thing that you were mentioning too about what's her name, the singer, the wonderful singer,
Barbara Streisand.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Barbra Streisand.
So
Yeah,
she added how many hours of music in her?
like 4, 5. Yeah. I stuck with 3.
There we go.
I was conservative.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Because I would go back and just listen to it, you know, like I'm going to have to do a long drive, you know,
Yeah.
and I want to be able to listen to it, you know, through my stereo in my car, because that'll be totally entertaining.
You could drive up here.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
You could
Yeah,
drive
by
up
the time I get to
here.
your house, the book will be done.
There you go.
You know what? Let's do a song from the book. I've done a few improv here, but
Okay.
the book has, you know, a lot of songs that I wrote and recorded, and that are congruent with the messages in the book. Like this one is called "Walking Through the Fire," and I wrote it when I was going through a particularly gnarly transformation, and I was being introduced to feelings that I didn't like, that were not comfortable, and that I had a lot of resistance to accepting. And while I was feeling those feelings, the stories that I told myself about manhood were dissolving in front of my eyes. And even though that's a really good thing, it's also a really hard thing to have your self-image pulled apart like surgery, you know, just like I was filleted open by the universe, and I didn't like what I was seeing. So it goes like this. I was sold a storyline. Life is rough, so get tough. Go out and take what is mine. Stay in control. Get the upper hand. Show no fear, cry no tears. Learn to be Superman. Now that story is burning, going up in smoke. Can't live it any longer 'cause I'm being choked. In the pitch black night, I'm looking for my heart. The light may be coming, but I'm still in the dark. Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two. Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two. What am I doing here? What are my dreams? Should I be flowing with the current or be rowing upstream? Is there an end to these cycles of pleasure and pain? Does my joy need my sorrow? Does the sun need the rain? Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two. Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two. All of these years, prisoner of my fears, and I've been hiding my heart to bear it, like I've been hit in my stomach's pit, and I haven't come up for air yet. But as I take my first breaths, my heart is put to the test. There's a lot of emotions to feel. Sometimes it cuts like a knife, but I'm committed to life, and I know that the blade is slicing to heal, leaving what is real. My soul is passing through the in-between, like when you know that you're dreaming, but you're still in a dream. An old caterpillar is about to die. Does it know it's becoming a butterfly? Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two. Moving out the old, bringing in the new, and walking through the fire between the two.
That is awesome. It's very powerful. That is powerful stuff. Yep.
Yeah. You could say
On
that.
your go ahead.
Go ahead.
On your website, you have a section that says song portraits.
Yeah.
What is that?
So people usually they hire me, they commission me to create a song for a loved one, for birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, and funerals. And I recently, the last one I did was for somebody who his wife died, and he wanted me to write a tribute song that he could play at her funeral. So sometimes the songs are celebrational. Other times they're really deeply healing, and I tune into somebody and help them face something difficult by singing to that difficulty.
Yeah, we
So-
definitely going to have you come up with something for our show.
Foxton.
Yeah, the Fox with Gina being.
Yeah.
Crazy ladies.
Yeah.
You have to do that.
Because we try to help people with every show. We always say if we help one person, our job is done. At least one person.
We
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it goes from there and there and there and there, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, I've asked this like a couple times over the years, and I think you're the one.
You know, you want a theme song for your show?
I do.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I have a note from my mom that says that I can do the note. So-
It says, "Oh God."
It took him a second. I love that one.
I'll need to see the note.
Okay, but the mom's note is written with angelic feathers.
Oh, angelic feathers. I love
Yeah.
that. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll come.
So,
It's coming down from
so
heaven.
oh,
But I can
Because
say,
it sure as heck ain't coming by Canada Post.
oh, but that would be fun. That would be fun.
It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
The touch that he would put on it. Because you have a way of putting things into words, into song that just sort of like I'm sitting here, oh my God, yes, okay, yes, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So open you open things up that
mm,
people will think that they have it hidden and nobody else can do that. Nobody else
mm,
is going through that. And
mm,
in just a couple of songs that you've sang, it'd be like, oh yeah, okay.
mm.
So it's
Yes.
interesting.
And when you talk about fears, because that's the biggest thing. That's what holds us back from everything. The fear of
Mhm.
everything, you know?
Yeah. There's a chapter in the book about healing men's addiction to not feeling fear. The fear of fear, because men have been programmed to not show fear. It's like a
Yeah.
weakness. So it gets to the point where I'm not going to even acknowledge my fears to myself. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid. In fact, one of the poems is about fear and how it says fear itself likes to stay hidden from view and play hide and seek in its host, which is you. I'm not afraid, I'm just angry, it shouts. I've been mistreated and need to speak out. I'm not afraid, I'm upset and I'm caring. There's so many disguises that fear enjoys wearing. He's proud of his wardrobe because he designed it. Though he wouldn't admit it, fear is quite clothes minded. So he doesn't realize he's often dressed funny, wearing layers of worry, looking like a stress bunny. And if you're not looking, he dresses you too in stress bunny outfits that don't become you. Because when you wear worry, it wears tight and stiff from statically clinging to imagined what ifs. Worst case scenarios fill your projector. Then fear says, don't worry, I'll be your protector. He shows you his life insurance policy and says, here's what you get when you sign up with me. You get top notch around the clock security, an armored alarm system on your body. And if you're harassed, I'm your personal bouncer. And for making decisions, I'll be your guidance counselor. No more will I let you take risks that could hurt you. Just stick with me, kid. I will never desert you. Now, all of your loved ones have already signed. Don't be a black sheep. Join the flock. You'll be fine. Let's go on. This is fun. So
Yeah.
you signed up. You signed up and you breathed a big sigh of relief because you thought you'd be safer with fear as your chief. But the contract had fine print too fine to be seen. So you didn't read the clause that denied you your dreams. From then on, heart's desires that came to be birthed were blocked by your fears before they could reach earth. It seemed your new policy's whole life protection was more birth controlling than most contraception.
Like that one.
Yeah, well, that's just a little bit. I wish I
Wow.
could remember more.
Oh
Wow.
no, what you do remember is like it's just like I said, it's spot on. It hits where it needs to hit.
Yeah.
It really makes you think. And you know what? And you don't these are powerful, gut-wrenching subjects, and you make them
Fun.
fun, yeah, attainable. Like you can,
Painless.
yeah,
Yeah.
tangible. Like you can actually do this
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah. I think that spiritual Dr. Seuss likes to make people feel safe looking at stuff that we usually bring shame to. Like,
Right.
oh God, something's wrong with me. I have all this fear. No, it's part of the human condition. And some people hide it better than others, but everyone is on the planet to deal with fear.
Yeah.
That's true. Fear can save us in certain respects, but fear of self and fear of your dreams and taking that chance, it stops you.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's
fear can save you when you're in the jungle and a lion is chasing you, and the
Mhm.
adrenaline
Yeah.
picks you up and gets you to do superhuman things.
Exactly.
But when you're running adrenaline 24/7 because of psychological fears,
Yeah. Okay.
that's
That's not.
that's gonna it's not a good
It's gonna
thing.
cause. Yeah, it's gonna cause disease and dis-ease.
Dis-ease, definitely.
Yes. Yes. But also
Yeah.
disease. Because it can make you very sick. And if you're that
Yeah,
stressed
definitely.
and so balled up all the
Yeah,
time.
the body's not meant to have adrenaline be its taskmaster.
No.
That's meant for brief bursts of energy when there's an actual threat.
Right. Right. And your day-to-day life should not be an actual threat.
I don't think
And
so.
people live their lives like that. Like, on a more serious note, people do live their lives like that. And you know uh both men and women, being in a relationship that, one's scared to death, of whatever from the other, you know but then again, even though you're scared to get to death of being with that other, they're more scared of leaving the other. It's like, oh my gosh, I just feel so bad. Like, I'll see a story on TV, or else, on one of those talk shows or something like that, and I say to myself, like, why would you stay? Just go. Just go. But it's like they explain why they don't just go.
Mhm.
If they can listen to a song like this, you know, I think
Yeah.
it might break through that. I don't know, the iron curtain of fear.
Yeah. Because the
There-
thing is, it's called masculine, mindful masculinity, but it also has messages that work well for women. So it's not just a one size fits all just for boys. Men,
Indeed.
so because there's things, and just what you've said, just we've spoken about, and just like Gina was saying, talking about the book, there's things that sort of ring true for me. So it's not like I said, it's not a one size fits all, men only.
Yeah.
Women, I know you have it for women who are married to men or connected with men on that respect, but read it for yourself, because it just for the touchings that I've done, it's like, okay, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's
And not
retail therapy needs to happen.
not big chapters, you know what I mean? Like, pick one, right? How I succeeded at failure. Okay. All right. Success is good, failure bad. Tarzan. Right? It's like, okay, busting out of fish bowls. All right, these titles are amazing. um, Maturing Mr. Fix It. This is a big one
Mm,
on everybody's list. And you
mm.
also have a fuck it list. Not a
Uh,
list. And I mean, pick one chapter and read it with your partner.
Yeah.
you know and it's going to open up a discussion. And if anyway you can get the audio book and listen to it there and hear a song that goes with it, all the better to open up that mode of communication, that the distance between the two, might break down some of those walls that,
yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Did you understand that?
Oh yeah, because just reading the pages, reading the words on a page, you'll get it, but hearing it, you'll get a whole different view of it.
Well, hearing it in his
And his
voice.
words, his voice.
Yeah, you do. It's a definite different concept. Because again, I've said it and I've said it and I'll say it always. I'm not an audiobook person until this one, but I still love. Like, I'm glad I read before I listened. So it kind of
Oh yeah,
really
you have to. You have to.
it put me in a different state. But There's
I
so much.
feel very honored by the two of you. You really you actually read the book, and that doesn't happen very often with podcast hosts.
That is
Well,
true.
we're different. We're, as I said, we're scared.
Yeah.
I read every book for
It
every,
was. And we have discussions about it throughout the week
yeah,
when we're going, especially because Emily knows my schedule and don't always have time to read it.
yeah,
So for me, that's why the audio is
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
When I have dog ears
It's hot doggies again.
all over the book, it's like I was like,
Oh,
I love
I
that.
want to buy her those little teeny tiny post-its for
Oh,
each
I have
page,
those. I
so I
have
get
those,
them.
and those
Okay.
books are loaded with them, and then it's like I leave them in there when so I can pull them out. So it's like all those books over there, like they're so mangled when you pull them out, but they're well used. Like I have a section of books that I will go to all the time.
Mhm.
This will be in the section of that because this is something. This is a good reference because again, if you read one of these chapters, Men on Fire, you read one of these chapters, and it's going to mean whatever it is that you're going through at this point in your life. A year from now, you can pull this out and read Men on Fire. Right? After you've already discussed this with your partner, it will mean something different then.
Mhm.
You know,
Exactly. Reading at different times in your life will mean you'll catch different nuances that sort of like, ooh, that was that smack in the head that I needed back then, and this is what I need now.
exactly, exactly. And
mhm.
so, I mean, I think you're phenomenal. I truly, truly do, and that's why I'm
And
like,
we're not biased at all.
Mama, I didn't hear you. Can you say that again?
I said we're not biased at all.
No, I hear a lot of neutrality coming out of your mouths.
Okay. Okay. One thing when you see me, Scott, and I'm looking off the sides because I also do the social media part of this, so I'm liking things.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking at
you're a
things. So
multitasker.
it's not that I'm bored or anything. I mean, like,
No.
can I have this more? That's why it's always good to have headphones on for me.
yeah, I got to do this because I'm having the problems with the reading. These are the reading glasses, mind you.
Cute.
Okay, we talked about that. We talked about that. Okay, okay. The righteous man chapter. This is a
Yeah.
pull up. All right. So, okay, I'm just gonna read it out again, the whole thing, so that people can understand. All right, the chapter called
The
the right.
whole chapter?
No, no.
Yeah.
The question. The chapter called the righteous man was really righteous. It seems like most men have this need to be right, in that it pushes away connections and closeness. How can a man deal with the part of his psyche and right and you say by finding the courage to admit, face, and move past shame? How is needing to be right connected to shame? And how the hell do you get a man to talk about shame? I mean, this one here, I had stars and everything on it here. So for my question, so I was like, all right, make sure I ask that one. The other one was we already talked about. So it's like, so
Yeah.
this is how do you? Because men have always been taught not to talk about these things.
Yeah. Well, you don't. You can't pry a man open with a 2x4. Uh,
Really?
he's got to.
She
Well,
tries.
yeah, I know, I know. How's that been working for you, Mama?
Upside the back of the head. I've been married for 40 plus years, so I guess I'm doing okay.
Very good, very good. But does he appreciate the crowbar? Maybe
I do it while
maybe
he's
he's a
asleep.
crowbar magnon man.
There
He's a crowbar magnon man.
you go. Exactly. And I generally do it while he's asleep so he can't catch me.
Oh, okay. So it's a subconscious crowbar.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a grow bar.
I like that one.
There's a song.
All right. So here's the thing. Nobody lets stuff arise
Mhm.
unless they feel safe. Like, so for a man to face shame, there's got to be a lot of trust. And you're not his therapist. You don't. It's not your job. That can be really screwy when you start to try to change or enlighten or even just help a man face his demons. If you're in a relationship, romantic or marriage, that's not a good thing, I don't think. Because then your Mrs. Fix-It is trying to fix him.
Huh. Well,
No,
yeah, that's we say instead of it's Mr. Fix It and then Mrs. Mom. It's always the
oh
mother.
my, yeah. But
Right?
I would say don't try. Send them to me. Send
Ah,
them to me. Like let another man or a men's group. I've belonged to men's groups since 1996, and to open up in the presence of men and develop trust with men, it's almost like a prerequisite for intimacy with a woman. I can't imagine trying to go about having a relationship with a woman without a network of men supporting along the way.
hmm. Well, you know what? That just made something click in my head about my relationship and Bob. Because he's like I always feel like he's more open with his men friends.
Yeah, yeah.
So why can't you talk to me like that? You know what I mean? Or smile with me like that, or whatever.
Oh,
It's a different kind of a connection.
Yeah.
hmm.
So
We
maybe
get one
that's
side
the
of them, whereas the
safety
men,
net.
the male friends get a separate side.
Mm.
Yeah, but that just made me see that in a whole different light. Just what you said there. So,
Mhm.
huh. So that whole thing about what we do, Mama was saying, like if this show helps one person, that just
That's
helped
how.
me right
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
See,
sweetheart. I'm
see,
so glad.
you were the one
Right?
today. You were the one.
Well, maybe
Hey,
there's more than
hopefully,
one.
Of
hopefully,
course, there's always more than one, but our way of thinking is we help one person, whether it's person in the chat room, whether it's Gina or I, we know that we're helping one person, and always that one person will go along to say to somebody else, "Oh, did you know that I got to listen to Scott Grace on the show?" And and it spreads. But our focus is one person,
Awesome.
because then it's like that one domino. Once you hit that one domino, it just goes down the line and it hits the rest.
tell a friend, tell this, tell this, tell this. That's how it goes. So you don't have to advertise. You can just, if it works for someone and you say it and you preach it and you're coming from your heart, it's believable. That's the way it is. And then it does, and it rolls just organically from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is awesome. Huh. So now what do you have like any like do you do events? Do you do anything like that in Mexico? Like do you do stuff?
Yeah, but not online yet, I would say. Yeah, I've just been uh, a joyful, secluded hermit lately. I live in a community, and I teach tapping and something called authentic relating, basically for the community. And
Mhm.
um, my inner critic says, "Put this on YouTube," da, da, da. And I'm like, if I'm not inspired, if I don't feel. When I was writing the book, I was waking up at 4 a.m. and steady stream of ideas
Oh wow.
running and it was exciting. And
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh
I've
yeah.
gotten to the point in my life, if I'm not inspired, and it's just like, oh, you should
Can't
put
be
this on
forced.
you, you should, get on social media. It doesn't work. I don't
Mhm.
muster up the energy unless I'm excited and ignited.
Mm-hmm.
So right now I'm excited and ignited about serving the local community here of expats, mostly here in this little town.
So the tapping, this kind of tapping, to release.
Emotional freedom technique is another
Yes.
word for it.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I do that a lot up here. Like, come on.
Oh, you do.
Sometimes it's just to get the brain to work, but I do think tapping is good. I have bad lungs, so I do a lot of tapping on my chest. So like I like the sound therapies. I like the thing that, the tapping like that because it does help. It does promote good health.
Are you familiar with the energy medicine?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I've been watching a lot of Donna Eden's work lately, and and doing these exercises for the lungs and the heart and the aura, and it's fascinating to me. It's a whole new world.
That is.
Yeah. We do quite a few shows on that subject. A lot of she's a Reiki master too, so that's more energy healing. I do prana work, so manipulating energy and things is something to be witnessed. And if no one's ever done it, they should just try it. Whatever works for you, whatever your issue is, but there's a healing technique for it. And the power of the mind is really,
it's amazing thing.
Powerful. That can heal you of lots of things. That modern medicine can't, or if you can't afford modern medicine, there are
modern medicine is indispensable when it comes to broken bones, and it has its place.
You got to you got to have your operations. You still got to do all that stuff. But like we were saying, what you were saying, all these things that the fear and everything that can bind up your system, and keeps you in your little cocoon and keeps you fearful in your home and not out there doing the things that you should be doing. Energy work can release that, and get your mind, get your energy, get your chakras all lined up, get everything flowing properly, and you'll feel like a whole new person.
Exactly. It gets you out of your head.
Oh boy, that's my favorite topic. How do I get the hell out of my head? It's a bad neighborhood. Don't go there alone.
I used to have, when I started on my path down Mamadi, I had a very dear friend who said, put Post-it notes, all positive things, post them where you see them the most. So, so every morning I'm brushing my hair, brushing my teeth, and the bathroom mirror, my husband would be like, excuse me, can't see nothing. But then I move them to the side, but it would be affirmations of positivity that I can chant them in my brain over and over again, but seeing them with my eyes was something else. So for me, that's one of the things that helped, to be able to write it down, see it, not write it down every time, but just have it somewhere that that you're going to go past. Who's up on your front door just before you go out, something that sort of gets you out of that stress moment for those people who don't like to be in the public because of all the stuff that's going on out there. You need to get out of your head before you get there, because it causes stress and anxiety. So something on the front door, there's always a place to do it. And then it's just sort of like, it's what I call my flashcards.
Yep.
I'm curious about this fuck it list.
Oh.
Because I do have the PDF, so I kind of look through the chapters, and that one, because I don't usually cut. That was like,
people make a bucket list of things they want to accomplish or experience before they die.
Okay.
Well, so many of us, and I write for men in that book, but it's really both sexes have a problem of having too much on their plate these days. And so what a fuck it list is the things that you think you have to accomplish to feel good about yourself, that really, if you're really honest with yourself, is some cultural training. It's what your parents told you. It's like you're being driven instead of driving the car. You're being driven by a sense of, I'm not enough unless I get the girl or this certain amount of income or this accomplishment or this fame. So anything that you try to get done based on the assumption that you're not enough as you are will maybe at its best remove the sense of not enoughness for 2 weeks at the most, and then it comes crashing in. So the fuck it list is your ability to detach from goals and compulsive goals that are not really from the heart, that are not really yours. They were implanted there. And once you bought the original lie, I'm not enough,
Mm.
then it's like, okay, well, what's the plan to get me to feel good enough? And the plan is usually a lot of struggle, a lot of perspiration, very little inspiration, and very little fun.
Yep.
It's not a fun way to live your life. So I say, fuck it. Burn up that kind of list and start from scratch and ask yourself, what do I truly want to do?
Yeah.
What would I do if I knew I was good enough and that it wasn't a problem? My life is not a problem. It's an overflow of self-expression. What would I want to do if I knew I had enough money? What would I, to do anything? And
Yeah.
then if I put my mind to something, I'd be doing it. I'd be happy. It may take taking voice lessons or learning a new language. Those are beautiful, fun things to do when your self-esteem is not on the line.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, it's horrible.
I did that a few moments ago. Excuse
No, that's why I was
me.
gonna back off because it was your fault. You did it. They're catchy. I was trying to keep it away, but it was fighting me. And
It's contagious.
it is. It is. But you know what I've always wanted to do, like for my bucket list?
Okay.
Learn how to ballroom dance. And if you knew me, you'd know I have 12 left feet. Okay. But I watch it on those shows. I'm the best critic there is on the planet. When I can point out everything that they're doing. But if I was to try to waltz across this room, I'd probably break a leg.
Yes, you would.
I would. I am so not graceful, not in the least. But I would absolutely love to to try to do that. Just
But the point just might be just the attempting of it. Shake up Bob, get those sexy legs off the sofa and out of the buses and out from underneath the engines, and go take a course. You might just find that one course might just be the one that kind of like, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ballroom dancing for dummies out there.
There you go.
Yeah, I would need one that's even more than that.
Oh, okay.
Phase before the dummy. The dummy would be my graduation course. Okay.
This reminds me, I went to a comedy improv class for beginners, and the first night the teacher said, the motto of this class is dare to suck. And then I went to her advanced class, and first night she said, the theme of this class is dare to suck bigger.
That's nice.
I love her.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't try and fail, we don't know whether or not we can do it.
Oh,
You
that's
just
true.
sit there and go, I wish I could, but I can't because I don't think I can. Give yourself all the reasons why you can't dance 12 left feet, but you need to try. You need to go out there and just
Yeah,
try
and
it.
also
And
in
be
the
prepared to
presence of,
fall on your tuchus.
oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
that-
mean, how do little babies learn to walk?
Falling down on their tuchus.
Oh, I get it. I mean, I've done everything else under the sun. I push myself all the time. Trust me, all
Yes.
the time to do. My dad always said, if someone else can do it, that means you can. I'm a tool belt diva.
Oh,
I've done construction. I do all that stuff my whole life. That's why I can't dance and I'm not graceful. All right, but I'm a perfect masshole. but I was a boss.
I would encourage you to take an intro class, and the reason is because you have taken a lot of risks and forged a lot of new territory, but it's been your male side that has carried you through that.
You're right.
And ballroom dancing is a gift for the feminine part of you. And for you to belittle and demean yourself, it's amusing, but it's also painful for me to hear that, because I want you to have more permission, not just to stumble when you're beginning something, but to feel that feminine energy that would come from dancing. And to tell yourself
that's
to tell
basically
yourself that you go ahead.
that's
To tell yourself that you don't have it in you to be graceful is a huge lie.
Yeah, because I've seen her be graceful.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
How do you
Having
feel
grace
hearing that?
and graceful
Because
is
the thing is, again, it goes back to we are our own worst critic. Gina doesn't see that part of herself being graceful. And I was just a big, I can't dance because I got 12 left feet. I was going to say 2 left feet, but you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
12
exactly.
left feet. But it's great. You have grace, not like a prima ballerina, but you have a different form of grace that you don't realize that you have. You know?
well, when I
And
was
because I can see it from the
growing up,
outside, so next time I will point it out to you. You'll be like, oh,
Nice.
and I'll be like,
Good
oh.
for you.
And then
Yeah.
I'm going to go shake up Bob's tree to make him go find a ballroom dancing course that you guys can take together. Bob,
Yay.
Bob.
I know. I've always wanted to do that. And
Good.
I don't have the fear of being laughed at or anything there.
Oh.
I'll be probably doing all the laughing. I'll laugh at myself,
Mhm.
more. And if Bob falls at least once, I'll really laugh.
Just don't hurt those legs on Bob, okay?
No, he'll be holding me up. He'll be catching me. He'll have a
There
bad.
you
He's
go.
gonna be catching me up.
Hmm.
Oh God.
You guys are a hoot.
And do you realize that we've never actually met in person?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't have a passport yet. Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
no,
they make it hard to get out, huh?
Oh yeah, they have my picture. As I always say, they have my picture at the American border. Going, do not let this crazy woman in here.
Her husband came from here though. Came
Yep.
from Philadelphia, as a matter of
Yeah,
fact.
he's a Philly boy.
Yeah.
I said no Canadian boy can handle all this crazy, so I imported one from Philly.
So I said, well, she's got to get a passport. I mean, sometime he'd want to come visit his family in Philly, right? Does he still have family in
Oh, he's
Philly?
talking about it next time. Oh God, yeah.
Well,
So-
let's sing about your relationship.
Ooh.
Your really special relationship. Gina B and Mama D have never been in the same proximity, but somehow their lives were woven together, and they have a ministry online, having a blast, bonding through this here podcast. They have a love that lasts and lasts and lasts. They never met in the flesh, but somehow they bring out each other's best. They both are full of passion and of zest, and their lives are a success, 'cause they touch at least one life every time they do a show. One life is enough, and they got the stuff to make it grow. All we want to do is a little more, and motivate Gina to get on the ballroom dancing floor, so her feminine spirit can soar. Cross that off her list. Following your bliss, you know you can't resist. Ballroom dancing, falling on your face, finding your own grace, laughing at yourself and laughing at Bob, bobbing those apples. You'll help each other stumble, and you'll help each other rise.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Loved it.
Life.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Nice. Wow. You need to.
There are certain. I'm going to warn you now, Scott. There are certain bits that if I can extract the audio version of the songs, I'm gonna be posting them on Facebook, and I'll tag you in the like.
Oh, please do. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna clip that part right there.
Oh yeah, I wrote it down. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much for that. You are amazing. You're an inspiration. You're amazing. God, I
Hmm.
can't even imagine the countless people that you have helped, and they must all like never want to leave you. You know.
There is a waiting list.
Oh, that's a good thing.
No, I'm teasing. But we touched on the inner critic early, and we I don't feel like we really got to the essence of it. So I'd like to let the spiritual Dr. Seuss take
Mhm.
take a stab at it.
Okay.
So he says, uh, the critic will travel with you on this earth and be your companion for worse or worse. It pretends it's your friend, your bestest amigo, and it pours on the guilt. That's the beverage of ego. It's there to protect you, to help you be strong. So it has to remind you you're doing it wrong. You're weak and you're lazy and you don't have a clue. That's your drill sergeant critic trying to motivate you. Your critic wants you to be all you can be. So it gives you these pep talks all day and for free. Oh, the places you'll go and the guilt trips you'll travel as the critic plays judge and bangs down on its gavel. But you always can get some relief from your shame by projecting it onto the others you'll blame. For that is the critic at its beastiest best. It nurses its grievances close to its chest. Republicans, liberals, your parents, your ex. The world is just teeming with folks to correct. If only those fools could conform to your ways, you could get on with life without further delays. The critic loves finding new gripes to complain about, turns molehills to mountains of yikes to feel pain about. Sometimes the critic's stuff makes you so stuffy, you come down with a cold or an ouchie more roughy. But there's no time for rest, so get up out of bed. If you're just here and now, you won't get ahead. Your to-do list must buzz like the bees when they're busying. Keep filling your days till you're endlessly dizzying. Oh, the places you'll go and the people you'll see, all through the lens of what's in it for me? Because the critic believes there is something it lacks, and until it is found, it won't let you relax. Perhaps you'll find it in the next one you date. True love at first sight with a soul kind of mate. The romance is hot till the climate turns cold. Because when critics collide, they do not make a whole. It's great till the love gets obscured by control. Because when critics combine, they do not make a whole. So, the critic moves on, ever constantly striving, addicted to seeking, afraid of arriving, traveling fast at the speed of surviving, with fear in the driver's seat, doing the driving. Or perhaps you are on the fast track of success, constantly driven to be great, better, best. You're a mover, a shaker, a big time achiever. You're a real self made man or a dazzling diva. You're rich and you're famous and you make quite a splash. You're on top of the world and you're rolling in cash. Today, you drive the right car, you've married the right spouse. Today, lunch with Oprah. Tomorrow, the White House. But at night, insecurity pays you a call because you know anytime you could lose it all. Your shrink says to rest. Your spouse sure agrees. Your doctor says ulcers take 14 of these. You know you should slow it down sooner or later, but your foot is just glued to that accelerator. Your critic consoles. Well, at least you're successful. It's a sign of success to be constantly stressful. You made it to prime time and everyone loves you. But your self-esteem's based on what others think of you. And opinions can change in the blink of an eye, which is why you need meds just to sleep and get by. We're almost at the end. Let's finish it.
This is
Yeah. So one day when you failed and succeeded enough, you witnessed the critic exposed in the buff, and you realize behind all its protective clothing that the critic's been hiding a state of self-loathing. And beyond that, you realize the biggest of deals. You've dreamt up the critic. It's not even real. So for richer, for poorer, in all kinds of health, you make a commitment to loving yourself. You release the projections you placed upon others and find through forgiveness that peace is discovered. You realize the love that you searched for outside you is what you are made of and can't be denied you. So you let go your potions, your plans, and your pills. Put some logs on the fire and learn how to chill. Your old superstitions have gone up in smoke, like you can't rest in peace until after you croak. You no longer fear death, or for that matter, life, because you know that all matters are safe and all right. While resting in peace, you will soon be inspired to go out in the world with some newfound desires that spring from your heart and your soul. And wherever they take you, you're going there whole. Because the critic is now in the passenger seat. It lets down the window and takes in the treats. You're not in a hurry. You're going there slow. Because the journey's as rich as the places you'll go. Where you are going, you don't need to know, because the journey's as rich as the places you'll go.
wow.
Awesome. I was going to swear with that, but it's pretty awesome.
Wow. So many points. So many points. So, oh my God.
Definitely putting that one soundbite.
You have a gift. You have a gift. You really, truly do. You're doing the right thing. There's no doubt in my mind.
Thank you.
Because you touch people, and I don't know if you realize how deeply that you can touch people. I think
Yes. You know, seriously, mind blown. Because that's all that everything is spot on, true that you say. And I don't care who you are, everyone has that.
Yep.
Everything that you just said. Everyone has
Yeah.
there's
Yeah. And some people hide it so well. I
Yeah.
would say, Donald Trump, like no one can imagine him ever being insecure or criticizing himself, right? He
Yeah.
seems to be the opposite of that. But it's all suppressed. What is arrogance but a band-aid over unworthiness?
Yeah.
That's what arrogance is, a protection plan, so I don't have to feel my critical voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not gonna have anybody else point it out to you either.
Yeah. And
You know.
we never really addressed the Mr. Right thing. How do we get men to be less attached to being right? And it has to do with that critical voice.
Mhm.
And nobody could do that for you. But when a man reaches a point where he's willing to be kinder to himself, then he doesn't have to be right in order to feel safe. So it's an inside job.
Yeah. Having somebody else point it out to you doesn't work.
No,
You have to
my
point it out
goodness.
to yourself. You have to be able to
Yeah.
go inside and go, at this point in time,
Yeah.
I was a dumbass. Or,
You know what beautiful words are, to say to a man who is struggling with trying to be right is, I don't know, maybe I love you.
Yeah.
So to not resist, women it's easier for you to drop into your heart. You have less
Yes.
programming around,
Oh, yeah.
less protection around being in your heart. So if you could like meet a man's righteousness with, you may
Yes.
be right, I don't know, and I love you.
Yeah.
It just, it's that defenselessness, that it's like he wants to have a tug of war, and
Mhm.
you're dropping the rope.
Yeah.
There's nothing to tug against if you don't fight back, if you don't, yeah. So that's how you can help a man.
That's big.
Sharon in the chat room, that Gina put it up a minute ago, she says, reminds me of Vincent Price. Do you know that was the first love of my life?
Vincent Price?
Vincent Price. As a young girl, there was something about him that I said, when I grow up, I'm going to marry that man. There was something about the quality of just listening to him. Even in a short song like Michael Jackson's song, Thriller, there's something about the voice, the way he presents himself. You have that as well.
Oh,
Not that I want to
sweetheart.
marry you, but because I would be, was it bigamy? There we go.
Well, you wouldn't be able to get across the border, so.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're
right.
like,
You
put that one up there, darling. He's not around. He's around here for sure.
you'd have to cross 2 borders.
Ah, that's true. I could fly. I need a passport to do that. Be stuck in the border. But yeah, no, this.
How many years been saying you got to get a passport? Got to get a passport. How many years, Mama?
2?
5, 6. How many years we've been doing this? Every year. Get a passport. Get a passport.
I'm going to be honest about something. We have done shows together for 5 years, and I've been doing shows since 2015. You, Scott, are the one that seems to have hit so many nails on the head for me.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be listening. I don't normally re-listen to a show unless I have to crop stuff out of it. And then I have the time slots written down. But I'm not going to just cut out those time slots. I'm going to have to listen to the show again.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm touched and very honored. Thank you.
It's you've like I said, you have made.
Do you see
you made an impression? It's 55. Yeah, got 5 minutes.
We only have 5 minutes left.
It's that singing voice to just sort of let everybody go. But yeah, I know this. You've opened up. You've sort of showed me things that I kind of hid, and don't ever ask me what the hell they are, because I ain't spilling those beans until I finally work on myself and be sure of what I want and what I have. But yeah, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Promise not to cry.
Yeah, I know you touched us both, and hopefully, we're going to share this show all over the place, and the audio goes out tomorrow too to a whole bunch of other different venues too. And for the audio, if you're listening audio, you must go watch the video, because you have to see the stylings of you got to see Scott talk. You got to see.
Yeah, because it's a whole package. It's not just words. But it's the inflections that you have it with. It's the facial expressions that you have with it,
Sincerity.
and that smile. Oh my own. That's my only thing I know in Italian. Maron.
Maroname. But seriously, it's a book for men and women. But this would really help you personally, help your relationships personally. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I do have to get the others. Because if it's anything like this, it comes out of you, it's got to be helpful.
Yeah.
There's no doubt in my mind. But what can you leave our people with, so that they never forget you? Because I don't want anyone to.
Don't put me on the spot. No, please do. Wow. Well, my mother comes up. Like she's been my greatest teacher. I've written songs. She's inspired them. there's one in particular that really touches people. I'd like to end with it.
Please.
So I was in my 20s, and I was thinking that she needed to let go of me in order for me to come into my adulthood. And that wasn't necessarily so. But when I wrote this song, it really helped both of us transition to more of an adult to adult relationship. So it goes, take delight in my awkward flight. Don't ponder the how or the why. I'm leaving the nest to discover my best. Don't squeeze on my hand as I fly. Let go and wave, child, goodbye. Oh, take delight in my awkward flight. Your love and your fears weigh a ton. The distance I choose is no verdict on you. Don't battle what needs to be done. A man needs to grow from a son. Son, I nursed you and rocked you and answered your cries. I looked out at life through your innocent eyes. Now you're turning away, and it's so hard to bear. I gave you my all. There's a piece of me in there. Oh, take delight in my awkward flight. Let's cut away old worn out strings. I came through your home to discover my own. Please don't let my spaciousness sting. Take joy that I'm finding my wings, my wings. Oh, take delight in my upward flight. Don't pull on the reins tightly so. I'd much rather soar from your heart's open door. Oh, mother, it's time to let go. Oh, mother, it's time to let go. Son, I never knew this would be part of the plan. A part of me wanted to always hold your hand. It's sad, but it's good, and my heart understands. Goodbye to a son is hello to a man. Perhaps we'll be buddies, perhaps we'll be friends. Who knows where we'll land when we touch down again? But for now we must fly in our own separate skies, trusting our love as we say our goodbyes, trusting our love as we say goodbye. Goodbye.
my God, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You
That
are
is,
one proud mama.
it does.
Man, wish my kids would sing a song like that.
But we're going to share it. And it doesn't only mean just for sons, it's also for daughters and mothers and fathers and children and their parents. So it works. Amazing. Yes, thank you. I think
Mega,
that's the best way to
mega
end up the show.
talented man. Yeah, great way to end the show. Perfect way to end the show.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
All right, I'm going to play our exit video. We are going to say goodnight to you all. We'll see you all next week. Please share this show. Just please do that for us, for Scott's sake, for the one Scott's gonna help with the show's sake. Okay. Love you all. We'll see you all next week. And Scott, hang here for a minute. And you guys, love you. Just love you guys so much.
I'll behave.
Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Time with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests or our own intuitive oracle card reading shows. We are streaming live on Facebook on my personal page and our YouTube channel, The Fox Time with Gina B and Mama D, on Mama D's YouTube channel, Angel Meadows, as well as our audio-only venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest or your reading, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, share, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.